Nice to see all of you. I didn't expect more students today, but even though good stuff, there are still 10 students are absent. Fine. So today's topic is distempers, then followed by varnishes. These two are also called as building materials because without these two, we cannot complete the structure. Let us first discuss about what is a distemper. Being a civil engineer, you must know the meaning of distemper and its composition and its applications. Because everyone is not a rich person. There may be poor persons who may approach you, to get the exterior or interior with some color coatings. They may request you to choose, cheap quality or less price building materials, especially varnish or distemper, because they don't know the meaning of distemper and varnish. But you must be in a position to understand and explain to the customers or clients. Distemper is a old water-based paint. Old water-based paint. Old water-based. See, the name itself speaks, it is old. That means in the olden days, most of the rural people used, distemper as a paint for their houses. Rural village means we have small houses. Not even G+2, G+1, only single house or maybe a simple structure without any bathroom, lavatory inside. So those fellows preferred, this distemper. Why? Because it is very cheap. That means low cost paint. But it gives appearance to some time, not for 10 years or 15 years like paints. However, it is a old water-based paint. The name itself speaks water-based. That means the paint consists mainly base and water. When base is mixed with the water, yes, you will get the paint. That's why we are calling it as water-based paint. Primarily composed of what? Once again, the distemper has 4 ingredients. What are the 4 ingredients? Chalk, water, binder, pigments. This is the composition. We can say these are the 4 ingredients in distemper. Let us first see chalk. Chalk means it is a calcium carbonate. That is the base. That is main important ingredient. How we can get the chalk? Go for limestone or marble. Otherwise, dolomite. See, this is a sedimentary rock. This is also a sedimentary rock. This is metamorphic rock. You must remember all these terminology. What are sedimentary rocks? What are metamorphic rocks? What are gneiss rocks? So, collect these rocks. From where? From the quarries. Then crush it. That means make it into small pieces and put it in the grinder so that you will get the powder. And do the sieving. Sieving means fine powder falls on the bottom and coarse that remains on the top of the sieve. So once again, the coarse powder, whatever is remained in the top of the sieve, once again it is to be grinded so that you will get the fine powder. Until you get the fine powder, you have to number of times you have to grind. How I told one day, sugarcane machine, how the juice comes. It's only one time, no, 2 times, no, 3, 4, 5 times, because the person who is doing the business will try to get the last drop of the sugarcane juice from that sugarcane. So in the same fashion, after collecting the raw material, that is base, it is the responsibility. Suppose if you become an entrepreneur, you are not supposed to throw the coarse powder which is accumulated on the upper part of the sieve Once again you have to grind. How you grind it? See the girni. I mean where the fellow pour the wheat or jawar and okay, run the machine so that you will get the fine powder. Suppose still you feel that this is coarse. What he does, he tied the screw. That means the two, what are those called? Two blades or whatever it may be, which are kept in the machine, comes very close. That means friction is more. So once again you will get still fine powder. Even if you are not satisfied, then you will tighten the screw. Then those two, I mean blades comes very close. Then you will get the fine powder. That is in such a case. But here grinding, you have to tighten the screw till you get the fine powder. So anyone can use it because you get calcium carbonate from this raw material. Limestone, I have told a number of times its chemical composition is CaCO3. Marble, its chemical composition is also CaCO3. Dolomite, its chemical composition is CaMgCO3 twice. You should remember all these compositions also. Even in the big paper, maybe ask chemical composition of dolomite, chemical composition of marble. That means you can find calcium carbonate in each and every raw material. Calcium carbonate, calcium carbonate, calcium carbonate. That is the raw material we are calling it as base. That means the powder is required. So the next is water. Water is a liquid that is solvent. Of course, in case of paints, we add turpentine, something else. But here, in case of distemper, we mix water. It acts as a solvent. So what happens when you add the water? What happens? That semi-solid paint or maybe semi-liquid paint, that means distemper, can be spread over the surfaces. Okay, this is only for interior structures. That means you can apply to the walls, you can apply to the ceiling, you can apply to the beams, apply to the columns, not for exterior. Why? I said in the beginning, it is a washable. If you sprinkle water or if it is exposed to rain, what happens slowly? It washes out. That's why it is called water-based paint. If you pour number of times water, even if it is painted interior, it goes. That means its durability is less. It will not last 10 years or 15 years, maybe some 2 years or 3 years. Then afterwards, you will get a fade. Fade means the shining part is very, very less after 2 or 3 years. Okay. So the role of the water is to spread the distemper uniformly. Of course, distemper is also a paint. That's why I have mentioned spread the paint. Then coming to another one is binder, which is very, very important because the paint must stick the wall, stick the slab, stick whatever the surface you apply. Stick means you must add something. What you are adding? You are adding glue, resin, casin. These are called, resins, binders. Telugulo we call it as banka. Glue ante banka. Casin, CASIN. This is also a type of binder. So this is a natural protein extracted from the cow milk. How casin is extracted? This casin is a chemical which can be extracted from the milk. So it is a protein. So which acts as a, very good binder. That means when you mix to the paint, that means the paste and water, so it sticks the wall or it sticks where you apply the distemper. And finally, pigment. Pigment means a color, chemical substance. Of course, I may not like white. You may prefer green. You may prefer blue. Somebody may prefer yellow. That means you have to add the last time previously in the paints I have mentioned some pigments. Suppose cupric oxide, iron oxide, mangan oxide, cobalt oxide. If you add all those colors, what happens? It gets color. That is called pigment. So the desired pigment on the choice of customer. Then you have to add. If you add two colors, two pigments, it gives a different color. If you add three, it gives a somewhat different color. Or if you want only one thing, see, one wall should be white, one wall should be green, one wall should be blue. As you like. Somebody may like only single color, and ceiling must be always white. That is desirable. You must convince the customer. Ceiling must be always white. Even entire walls must be white if he is interested. Not interested, can go for blue, yellow, red, whatever it may. Suppose one person asks you one different color means yes, we can tell. But the color makes the person to a different mood. If he asks a red color, if you accept it, what happens? Red color always thinks about the negative thoughts. So don't recommend dark red or red color. Always it should be, Distemper must be pale color. Pale means light color, light yellow, light blue color, light yellow, green color. Okay. That means adding the pigment means very little. Instead of say some 100 ml, you go for just 10 ml or 5 ml so that you will get light color. That's called technically pale color. Pale color means light color. So this is the key ingredients of the distemper. So these are the required. And once again, you should remember that ceilings. Suppose if it is a rental building, okay, you have taken on a portion for rent, 2 BHK or 3 BHK, or you can shop. Maybe after 2 years or 3 years you may renew. You cannot continue since it's not your own building. So for rental buildings, this applying distemper is very useful for you. For you in the sense for customer. Because temporary, you don't want to spend more and more money by applying the enamel paint or varnish paint or something else. So you want to see the appearance, but temporarily for 2 years or 3 years. That's enough. Distemper definitely lasts for 2 to 3 years, not more than that. Now, applications. If this is the applications, that means whatever I said, the same thing. Once again, I will repeat. Applications. Interior walls, as I said, and ceilings. That's all. Distemper is always used for only interior of the room, interior of the hall. Anything interior, it cannot be used for exterior. Why we are not using for exterior? During the monsoon period, that means during the rainy season period, the rain, shows its effect. That means it washes, slowly. So totally the monsoon period is 4 months. So we can say July, August, September, October. During 4 months, one can expect very good rain. So if you apply exterior walls, what happens? During the period by the end of October, the entire distemper is slowly washed out. That's why it can be used only for the interior walls. And also you can apply this distemper plastic. See, this is plastered wall. You can apply. So you can apply plastered walls. You can apply it on concrete. Whatever the concrete, suppose if it is a concrete wall totally, yes, you can apply. And it is a non-reflective finish. What is the meaning of this? Non-reflective. It will not give any shining. just to only color appearance. That means nobody likes it. But there are poor people who are not in a position to afford for paints. They go for distemper. Okay, this is one application. Coming to another one is, I said, rental properties. That is a short span of period. We are hiring a building, or we are hiring a room, or we are hiring a shop in which you want to see some good appearance, at least for short period. So in such a case, we go for, distemper. That is for rental properties and temporary settings. Suppose you want to make a temporary setting. Yeah, in the open ground, there is a open place everywhere. People used to establish, vegetable shop or something else. So what you do, you erect some poles. There is a sheet, iron sheet, and inside it may be constructed with a single brick wall. Otherwise, something a iron sheet, whatever it may be, you can apply on those sheets this distemper. That means for temporary settling structures. So we can use distemper as a coating on temporary setting structures other than rental properties. And also we can use this distemper for historical restorations. Historical, that means old structures, old monuments. For example, Kakatiya period. There were so many temples constructed by the Kakatiyas. Nowadays, some of the temples are not attractive. Because the color, whatever they applied during that century, Kakatiyas probably 16th or 17th century, they ruled the Kakatiya Varangal areas. Now the temples are not in a good condition. So, however, whatever it may be the present position, we can apply the distemper so that to some part, because exterior is of no use. At least interior of the temple, yes, we can apply the distemper to get somewhat good appearance. Then that is historical, this one. And Qutub Shahi forts, example, Kakatiya temples, Qutub, where we never thought Qutub Shah forts, Waterloo. Once again, you have to remember for interior purpose only, not for exterior. So Qutub Shahi, and still now we can see the Nizam era. Nizam ruled Telangana more than 100 years. For example, Chowmala Palace, beautiful place. One can visit, one can enjoy. The entrance ticket is only 25 rupees. Of course, exterior they have done with painting, interior they have done with the distempers. Nizam era structures. Historic, because these are very old structures. So where we can use the distemper. And one more is, it's not application, limitation of distemper. There is a condition here that is called limitation. So in paints we need to discuss about limitation. There is no limit, but here there is a limitation. What is that limitation? This is a water soluble paint. Yes, we know very well. Non-waterproof. It's not a waterproof. It's It's non-waterproof. Little purpose